Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Virginia, and today I'm going to show you some quick and easy last-minute Valentine's Day DIYs that you can get done in a very short amount of time since I know Valentine's Day is right around the corner. This first DIY might look a little bit complex, but it's actually super easy, and it's using some supplies from the Valentine's Day section and also the party section. This silver tray, if you watched all the way back in the summertime, my bridal shower video, I actually used it as a tray for some syrups at my bridal shower, but I'm repurposing it into a Valentine's Day sign. I'm going to be covering the center of it, but all around the edges, I took some white Waverly chalk paint, my favorite, and just painted all around the outsides. Then for the inside section, I went in with this buffalo check pattern scrapbooking paper, which I picked up from Hobby Lobby. Now for the main piece, what's going to be going on our sign, I picked up these wood ornaments from the Dollar Tree. They have a wide variety of different kinds that you can choose from. I liked these ones that had the cutout heart in the center. I'm going to be going in with some of those heartwood stickers in just a little bit. But first off, I need to paint my wood heart ornaments. I went in with the color Crimson by Waverly. This has been my go-to red for the Valentine's Day season. Then to cover up the holes on the wood ornaments, I'm going to be making 2 small bows to cover that up. So I'm going to show you guys how to do a fork bow. Once you have your ribbon around your fork in this V formation, you will take the top section and tuck it under the center of the fork and then pull it up behind and also through the center of the fork. And then from there, you just make a small knot. And while I'm making my knot, I do try to grab the little ribbon parts and pull them downward. That way I don't have the tails kind of going in lots of different directions. You can also do this once you pull it off of the fork. You can manipulate the ribbon and the tails how you want, but it's a little bit easier when you are making the knot to just pull them down. I found that always works out really nicely. Then I just grabbed some scissors to dovetail the ends before hot gluing them onto our wood heart ornaments, again to cover up those small holes. Because these wood ornaments had a heart cutout in the center of them, I wanted to fill it so it didn't have the buffalo check background. So I grabbed some of these wood hearts. They came in a pack from the Dollar Tree, and these had the glittery pink on them, and I just hot glued those to the back so that they shined through on the heart cutouts. Finishing touches for this DIY, we first have to hot glue the wood hearts down onto the silver platter turned Valentine's Day sign, and the absolute finishing touch was this bow. I actually made it last year and I kept it because I really liked it. It's an X bow. I will link above. I did a tutorial on how to do X bows in last week's video, so if you guys don't know how to make them, you can click the link above to learn how. Moving on to our next DIY, the Dollar Tree year after year always has these wood hearts for sale, and they're really fun to DIY. But even if you can't find these, you can always take some cardboard, that tends to be my go-to, and transform that. So this is what the hearts look like. They're modeled after the conversation hearts, the little heart candies that you can get. But I'm going to be transforming it by taking one of these wallpaper stick-ons, placing it on it, and then I'm using my X-Acto knife just to trim everything. You could use scissors, but the knife got a lot closer to the edge and kind of gave a cleaner cut. So I decided to go like this, and then it just popped right off. I made sure all of the edges are down. This is a stick-on tile, so I didn't have to add any hot glue or anything. Then once I made sure the edges were nice and they weren't, poking out and jagged, I went over it again with my favorite red color. It is Crimson by Waverly. I wanted to have a tag on my heart sign, so I did cut out this tag using my Cricut. Same with the handle with care, I used my cutting machine, but very easily you could just print something like this out and then cut it out. I wanted it to look distressed because that is my favorite for Valentine's Day. I like everything looking weathered, kind of like it's a long lost love letter. So I just used some red paint and also some brown for the tag. Next, to really make sure that that really beautiful texture of the wallpaper was showing through on the heart, I went over it just lightly brushing with some white paint, and then the texture of that wallpaper really came through. Starting to add all the embellishments together, I grabbed some lace ribbon and tied that around the center of the heart. And then I had my Handle with Care tag, and I'm also going to be using a key that I have. So for the tag, I had to hole punch a hole in it so I'd be able to thread it onto the lace. And I was also trying to figure out how I wanted the key to hang when I placed it on top of the Handle with Care sign. It kind of hid it, so I ended up just taking both off and instead threading the key through the lace and tying that off, and I decided to use something different for the Handle with Care tag. I had some of this gold wire. The gold really matched the gold in the key, which I thought was a nice tie-in, so I wrapped that around the heart sign and threaded the Handle with Care around that and just secured it off in the back. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have any plans for Valentine's Day this year. Currently, I do not have anything planned, but maybe some of your comments can spark my creativity and I can plan something to do. So make sure to leave a comment down below. This next DIY is great if you have some of those conversation hearts in your house, but maybe you're like me and you do not like the way that they taste, but I do like all of the colors of them, so I decided to use it as a DIY instead of actually eating them. I'm taking a candle holder. It's really just a glass container that I found at the Dollar Tree and also one of their glass candlesticks. I filled up the bottom section with the conversation hearts and then placed down a candle inside, and then I went all around the candle with the conversation hearts. Again, I don't like the taste of these, so I'm not going to be eating them. If you want to eat them afterwards, put on some gloves. Let me know in the comments down below if you're someone who likes the taste of these hearts. I feel like it's kind of like candy corn. You either love it or you hate it. So once I filled up the jar all around the candle with the conversation hearts, I did take some hot glue and I hot glued it on top of that glass candlestick holder. I have also seen on Instagram where instead of a candle, you can do this with a larger vase. And again, instead of sticking a candle down in your glass jar, I've seen people put down some fresh flowers, which is a really pretty look too. So if you're not into the candles, you could just replace that with some fresh flowers. That would be really pretty to add some even more color into your Valentine's Day decor. Next up, I think is my favorite one in the video. I really like using these styrofoam cones from the Dollar Tree and transforming them. I made some candy corn out of them for Halloween. So I'm doing something kind of similar here, but just for Valentine's Day. So I took the styrofoam cone and a mop from the Dollar Tree. You can buy the mop heads from the Dollar Tree, and I find that it's a really similar texture to the jute rope that you will find in the Crafter's Square section, but you get way more for $1.25 than what they give you on the jute rope. So I started cutting off pieces of this mop and hot gluing it all the way around the styrofoam cone. Sometimes the Dollar Tree doesn't have the supplies in stock that we need, like in my case, the jute rope. So I had to be resourceful and use an alternative like this mop head, and I've actually really enjoyed using it. Again, I think it's a better bang for your buck. Next, I took one of these sparkly heart picks and I placed this down in the center of the styrofoam cone. It went down right inside perfectly because it just sunk into the styrofoam, and I believe this came in a 4-pack from the Dollar Tree. Next, I had some twine that was purple and white colored. It came in a larger pack from the Dollar Tree, of course from the Crafter's Square section again, and I put this in between every 3 rows of the mop just for a little pop of color. The Dollar Tree sells these felt heart stickers. They're in 3 different sizes and 3 different colors, pink, red, and white. So I went with the pink and the red, and I just started sticking these all around my cone. It's even better because I didn't have to use the hot glue gun because they already have the sticky side to them. The next DIY for today's video are going to be 2 different kinds of candles. The first one I don't fully show, but I did show it in a previous DIY video, again, my bridal shower video. All that I did was take a spring napkin that I found at the Dollar Tree and use my small heat press, but you could also use an iron to melt the napkin onto the candlestick. But for this DIY, I'm going to be using one of the large candles that you can usually find either in the Crafter's Square section of the Dollar Tree or in the section where they have the other glassware and usually faux florals. This was a plain white candle, so I used some dark red vinyl to cut out XOXO, but you could use paint or even a red marker to adhere this. Then for the finishing touch, I took some raffia and tied that around the top of the candle off into a bow. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, keep searching, keep creating.